So I think really the metaphysic underlying the Global Green University is what I would call meta-Mahayana. The Mahayana approach to Buddhism said that we shouldn't work just for our personal enlightenment, but should work for collective enlightenment. That's yours, mine, hers, his, the cat, everything. The ghosts, the whole lot. We're all on this journey together. Even the gods need to work for their collective enlightenment. Okay, so, but do we all have to become Buddhists to do that? Well, no, Metta-Mahayana Buddhism says, no, you can stay a Jew living in Tel Aviv, but you can still work for the liberation from suffering of all beings through transpersonal enlightenment. You can be a Muslim living in Mecca or Medina and still work for the universal enlightenment and ending of suffering for all beings. Might be difficult there when you've got tyrants in charge, and obviously there are political considerations, like if you come out as a Metta-Mahayana practitioner, you might get cut up by Mohammed bin Salman with his bone saw, or shot by one of Netanyahu's cronies. So you have to be careful, as Christ said, be wise as a serpent, but innocent as a dove. Be totally non-violent like a Jain, hence my Jain symbol. Wisdom is always the peace path. And that's why Pythagoras and co. made non-violence core to his teachings in the West. So yes, I think Metta-Mahayana is about universal enlightenment. So what I want to do with the Green University is ask the question, what would an Enlightenment university look like? And I've been and sat in the ruins of Nalanda, the great Buddhist university in North India, and asked this question. You see, most conventional universities, they consider knowledge a sort of meal ticket to a job. You get your bit of paper, you're qualified as a this or a that, and then you go on and carve out a sort of career against other people in a competitive market of ego battles, and that's called work. Well, okay, do that if you want, go to the University of whatever and do that stuff. The Global Green University is totally different. Our purpose is to co-construct Enlightenment teachings through academia. So we've got to ask, well, what would an enlightened historical scholarly profession look like? If historians were enlightened, what kind of history would they write? Kind of more transpersonal history, I reckon. They'd be talking about the history of the human aspirations towards enlightenment. They'd be talking about intellectual history, moral history. They'd be talking more philosophically. That's what I proposed in my own PhD thesis, right? But what if people were doing more transpersonal enlightenment theory and they were working in music, musicology? What would the music department be doing? Well, it would be looking at how music can enlighten and help heal. It would be looking at the Pythagorean tradition of music therapy, music healing. It would be studying the physics of the mind, brain, music interactions. How does music calm the soul? What is the soul? I mean, I've met musicologists who work with the dying and who say that music can calm the soul at the last moments, the last couple of days before death. I met a wonderful musicologist from New York who'd worked with a woman who was agitated beyond belief. She was anxious, crying, hysterical. She hated her family. She hated God, had lost all faith in everything, was bitter, didn't want to die, hated the world. He did her some music therapy sessions, playing her some most exquisite music, like selected, with a good music system. She was incapacitated, she was in bed, she couldn't really do anything. And the sounds just cleansed her soul, they purified her. And she ended up with tears of gratitude and joy. And at the end of this hour-long music session, she said to him, I'm now totally at peace. She'd been taken on a journey to God, effectively, through the music, and her soul had made peace. And these tears streamed down at the end of the session. And she was totally changed, and she died a couple of days later in total peace, having made peace with the family visited and so on. That's the power of music. So the Green University Music Department would focus on that kind of thing. How does that happen? How can it happen more? Why doesn't every hospital in the world have a music department? Why don't they play music in hospitals to patients dying of cancer? Why isn't music used more and wiser? Why can't every child in a school be taught some musical instrument at least? Why is it seen as sort of posh extra? No, it's our own soul's well-being that's at stake here. And so, okay, so that's music. What about geography? How does the Green University approach geography? Well, how did the Earth form? What caused all the geological processes that we see? Where was consciousness when the mountains are being laid down? What's going on other planets? What about exogeology? How do planets form and structure? How does life arise? How did water arise? Where did water come from? Was it, as they say, like bombardments from the air? Has that created the Earth's oceans? Or was it water from inside the Earth? Or what? Let's ask these deep questions. And let's ask about geography, let's ask about human geography, about equality, about wealth, about distribution of resources, about industrial capitalism and whether that's good for the environment. Let's look at eco-socialism. Would that be a better thing? What would that look like in countries that have tried that or experimenting with it? How does that work out in terms of impact on the environment? How about some central planning in each country for a transformation to a carbon neutral economy? How about really, really emphasizing eco, solar, wind, wave, power sources, and how about investing in alternative energy, gravity waves, I don't know, you name it, that could actually heat and power the homes of the future. I mean, we're facing a winter of cold because people in Britain and Europe, in Britain can't afford to heat their homes because the energy prices have shot up so much. Okay, well, it's time to really get active. Let's get some new energy streams, which are not harmful and dangerous to nature and the environment and to humans. So who's doing that thinking? Where's the joined up departments of eco-energy in every part of the world? In Glasgow, they do brilliant research on gravity waves. Well, please turn it into a machine that can generate energy, guys. You've been doing that for 20 years. Get in touch with the Green University and let's work on that. There are scientists around who've got zero energy stuff to release, so the Green University can be a vehicle for that, and connecting up the bits of research. And why? Well, because if we can crack the energy problem, we're going to have a much more enlightened planet. We're not going to have resource wars whereby we all invade each other's countries for oil or water or whatever. No, we coexist on a planet of enoughness. We share the beautiful resources we have. We don't destroy, pollute, or contaminate them. And we draw energy from renewable sources that can be a sustainable civilization. Is that too much to ask? And we can get rid of all our nuclear weapons. So what would a peace studies department in the Green University look like? Well, it would be translocal. It wouldn't be just in a particular building. It's people working in India or China or USA or Europe who are collaborating on reformulating a peace prioritization for the planetary intellectuals. So that's what I mean by asking all intelligence agents, for instance, worldwide, to sign a declaration to planetary peace. They will not, allow their country to be the one to launch nuclear war, World War III, under any pretenses whatsoever. And they will do their best to gently advise their politicians to choose peaceful policies. We can do that, and we can work with academics and people like Christopher Andrew in Britain. He's Britain's leading expert on intelligence. So, that's like looking at what intelligence ought to be doing rather than what it is doing, which is stabbing in the back, defaming, blackmailing, Netanyahu, Trump games, all as usual. No, we got to ask. Let's go ahead 50 years. What will our intelligence agents be doing? Well, they'll be mediating. They'll be resolving conflict. They won't be exacerbating ethnic and religious conflict, they'll be solving it by sending in people to help work with both sides to reach a satisfactory solution. Okay, so anyway, that's it. And why do we do this? Well, because we all want enlightenment, don't we? I mean, I thought that's what this planet's for. Did I miss something? I mean, I think this planet is for enlightenment for us all. It's a place for coexisting in mutual love, mutual care, mutual compassion. Love in the sense of compassionate altruism. You know, I care deeply if some child somewhere anywhere in the world has not got a home tonight, or not got food, or not got love. You know, we all have those basic needs, and maybe the most important is love. You know, so I want a world where love is prioritised over hate and fear, and that's why intellectuals have a special duty. I'm also speaking on behalf of the World Intellectual Forum, as you know. We continue to meet on the 30th of each month. This last month we had a very good meeting in September. There'll be one on the 30th of October. So, you know, feel free to contact me and I'll send you the invite. Now I think I'm coming to the end of this talk. I want to finish as ever with a poem, because I also believe poetry has some importance in changing the way we think and changing, you know, what we're prepared to put up with. I loved so much when Biden was sworn in as president, that wonderful American poetess, her poet, her rhetoric was brilliant. Just a minute, I'm going to get a glass of water before I start. Right. Okay, so sorry about that. There's a beautiful full moon, a new moon outside here in the village of Bétet in the middle of France, and I send you new moon greetings. Okay. Here's a poem I wrote. And since I mentioned Brexit, and since I started these lectures actually in opposition to Brexit, let me finish this poem. It's number 976 of my oeuvre. I wrote these poems in about 2018-19, probably this one. It's called Naughty Brexit. And it sums up some of the things that I've been saying, you know, during these talks and also today, which is the pitiful lack of intelligence that it represented in every single way. Naughty Brexit came and danced upon us like a mannequin of death, a sequenced Carly all dressed up to tempt and please. She summoned up a myriad resentments. Everyone she touched trembled with rage against invisible powers. They felt brave suddenly, resenting everything, annoyed at being abandoned by lost heroes. So when this goddess of revenge came passing by, she called out, clucking, "Follow me, I'm Brexit Miss, stern schoolmistress. To your ignorance and bliss I promise death to learning, torching schools, a bonfire of all knowledge, all mercy gone. I'll lead you off down subtle bowers to the strangest place of suited souls, where words run out. I'll make you promises that I can't keep. You'll emulate and roar a chaos of resentments, going against all continents, all nations, as illusions. I'll dance a jig for you and lead you to the brink of a hard falling into the coaxing abyss beyond. I'll take your bravesome souls and turn them inside out, into petty alignments, minute adjustments, lies that are clothed in gaudy vestments, floating on a sea of unknown truths. I'm old, and 13 times I've danced the death tune to the beat of strange cacophonous symphonies of drums, and turned your hair all white, popping egos filled with rage before youth is done with them. I'm Dame Brexit, dancing on your early graves, pulled in with justifications, pithy sayings, pleasantries. I'm Kali, see? I bring all empires low, and wound the pulse of kings. I turn to watery fear all heroes' bells, and make their heads hum with febrile tales. Oh heavens! Yet that other one can see right through me? And I'm a shriek, telling you this, exclaiming most when seized. Can you hear me squeak when this new Beowulf caught and held me, cracked my bones, and only white bleached lies ran out and turned to dust? I'm Brexit Dame, old Grendel come again, caught by this hero poet, yet I do not know his name. I twist and turn, but cannot free myself. I'm held and helpless. Oh, let me go. I whine and whinge. I'm just like you, my hero warrior, a walking, wounded Brexit Grendel Dame. A wonder that you dreamed. Now let me sleep. Now let me go. I promise if you do, I won't come back, nor hurt nor harm again, if you but let me go. Yet, prithee, hear me laughing. I've tricked them all before, and will again.